Hey friends, it's Robin. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the end of the year book tag. I don't do many tags on this channel, but I always do the mid-year and the end of the year book tags. I feel like they're just really easy, simple ways to talk about how your reading is going. We're gonna go through this pretty quick. This is a really short tag. It's only 6 questions long, so let's get right to it. The first question is, are there any books you started and need to finish before the end of the year? And yes, there are actually 2 books that I have started and haven't finished yet. So the first one is A Turn in the Air by A.H. Cunningham. I ended up putting this down because I was like starting other projects and things like that, and I kind of forgot about it. It also was a little bit heavier than I had anticipated when I went into this, because this deals pretty heavily with domestic abuse, and our heroine is being stalked and threatened. So it was just a little bit heavier than I had anticipated. So I do need to go back and finish that. I think I got like 30% of the way in. Also started Cute by Meryl Wilsner. And again, I had to put this down because I was starting other videos, and I again only got like, I don't know, maybe a third of the way in. So I do need to go and finish this one yet. This is on my TBR for November, so hopefully this one will get checked off before the end of the year. And then the other things that I quote unquote started and need to finish before the end of the year is my rereads that I'm doing. I don't know if this is entirely accounting for this, but I have started and or committed to rereading some of these. I have started my reread of The Beautiful. I need to finish it. Same thing with Fortuna, and then A Dark and Hollow Star. These aren't necessarily that I started these books in particular, but I've started the series and I need to finish the series before the end of the year because all of them have new books coming out very, very shortly. So I need to finish my rereads so that I can read the new book either before the end of the year or early next year. Question number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? Usually I say no, but weirdly enough, I do have like 2 very autumnal books on my November TBR. So first is You Again by Kate Goldbach. This is like one of the most fall covers I've ever seen. And this was a release from, I don't even remember when, maybe August-ish. And I haven't gotten to it yet. My TBRs have been a little bit jam-packed, so this one is late. So I do want to read this one in November. Again, it's on my November TBR, and it is clearly very autumnal. The other one is actually a series. It is it Phoenix Family series? This is a romance novella series written by 3 different authors. One is by Alexandra Warren, one is by Christina C. Jones, and I always get the third author wrong. I think it's Nicole Falls. I want to read this as well. It is a like Thanksgiving set romance novella series, and I really want to read it because I have been putting it off for the holiday season, and now is the time. Question number 3, are there any new releases you're still waiting for? Yes. I feel like this question was more difficult a few years ago, like pre-pandemic. New releases like really tapered off at the end of the year. It was like everything came out in October, and then like November and December were wastelands. And that's not really the case anymore. I feel like ever since COVID, things have really spread out. And so I actually have a lot of releases that are coming either late November or early December even. December 5th has a ton of new releases that I'm anticipating. So a couple of them: The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson, The Ruined by Renee Ahdieh. We have Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joseph Gura. The Gentleman's Gambit by Evie Dunmore. I'll pop up a couple of more. There's quite a few. So there are a lot of end of the year releases that I'm still waiting for, which is both awesome and unfortunate because it makes end of the year content so much harder when new releases are still coming out in December, because I feel like I can't pre-batch my December content. Question number 4 is 3 books you need to read before the end of the year. This is always so hard for me to narrow down simply because like I need to read all of these. All of them need to be read. So the first one I'm going to go with is Grim and Sunken Vow by Ashley Shuttleworth, simply because I really want to. This isn't one that I got for an ARC or review or anything like that, but once the audiobook releases, I will be reading this one. The other one is A Time to Shine by Rachel Reed. I got this as an ARC and then I bought a physical copy of it. I want to say this came out in, again, like August, and I've been holding on to it because this is set at Christmas. I could not fathom reading this in August, and so I've been holding on to it for December or November. And then the other one is, again, just like a random book that I've been holding on to, and that is One Snowy Night by Drea Anderson. This is a little holiday novella. I think this was a free novella for signing up for her newsletter, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's a tiny little holiday novella, and I want to read it. Question 5 is there a book you think could shock you and become your favorite of the year? In all honesty, I highly, highly doubt it. My favorite book of the year is The Rest of the Story by Tal Bauer. I don't know how anything could beat this. This is honestly one of my favorite books of all time. I mean, anything's possible, I guess, but it's highly unlikely that anything is going to hit me the way that this book does. Honestly, Tal Bauer in general hits me harder than almost any other author I read. So, and then the last question is, have you started planning for 2024? And absolutely. I have content at this point prepped through March. I try to stay ahead on content planning, especially after everything that's happened in September and October. Things have been extremely hectic, and in order for me to make this work, I really need to be thinking ahead and planning ahead, and I'm trying really hard over the next 2 months to make sure that I am getting myself to a place where I am not constantly trying to catch up. So yes, I've started planning all of my content. I've started planning some TBRs based on different vlogs and stuff that I want to do. And I've been brainstorming some other like recommendation type videos and things like that. So yes, I have started planning. I haven't like picked a TBR or anything yet, but I do have a list of 2024 releases. I will link that down in the description box. It is just a Goodreads shelf where I am putting 2024 releases that I'm excited for. So all of those will be on my tentative TBR. So I guess I have kind of started planning my reading as well. There's already quite a few books on there, and there is a 2025 shelf over there. So I am a planner at heart. So that is it for this tag. Very short and sweet, but I thought it would be fun to just kind of show you what the end of the year is going to look like. Let me know your answers to some of these questions. If there's any books that you are really, really anticipating for the end of the year or need to read before the end of the year. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.